Well, welcome to 700 Club Israel, and thanks so much for joining with us. Blessed are the peacemakers. That's what President Trump said in a Truth Social post announcing a deal between Hamas and Israel. He said both sides had signed off on the first phase of the negotiations. Israel will withdraw their forces to an agreed-upon line within Gaza, and then Hamas will release all remaining hostages. For more on this, we're joined by CBN's Middle East Bureau Chief, Chris Mitchell. So, Chris, thanks for being with us.
Great to be with you, Gordon. Big day here in Israel.
I imagine it's a day of jubilation. When can we expect the hostages to finally come home?
Well, we understand once the government, and it should be any hour here in Israel, will agree to the deal, then there will start a 72-hour time clock where the hostages will be released. Now, there's a lot of different timetables going on in terms of when that 72 hours will actually happen, and will the live hostages be released first and then the dead hostages. But we can expect probably in 3 days, 72 hours, when at least some of the live hostages and the deceased ones would be released. And that is, spawned a lot of jubilation here in Israel. And let me give you one other point. I just learned a few hours ago, Gordon, every live hostages is going to receive 50,000 shekels as a one-time payment, and then 9,000 shekels per month for the rest of their lives. 9,000 shekels is probably about $2,500, and 50,000 shekels, about $15,000. So they're going to be rewarded for surviving for 2 years in these Hamas dungeons.
I'm not sure it's a reward as much as survivor pay. So let's just talk about the negotiations. This is the first phase. What are some of the sticking points still to be discussed?
Well, the big sticking point in the second phase will be disarming Hamas. Who's going to do that? Will they disarm? That remains to be seen. And who's actually going to monitor that? Is it going to be what's called the ISF, this International Stabilization Force, presumably made up of maybe members from the UAE or soldiers from the UAE and Saudi Arabia and maybe some other nations? And will they be able to disarm Hamas? Hamas has been saying in the past, we'll give up our offensive weapons. Presumably that would include rockets or missiles, but we want to keep our defensive weapons, and that would, I assume, AK-47s, maybe RPGs. So this is some of the sticking points going forward, but there are many people who say that's so important to make sure that Hamas does disarm and doesn't play any role in a post-war Gaza.
Is this going to be anything like the previous peace forces? I mean, the UN had control over a, quote, buffer zone, close quote, in southern Lebanon. And here Hezbollah was building tunnels right near the bases of the UN troops. And they had these guard towers. I mean, they obviously could see what was going on, but they still refused to do anything. So if the UN can't do it, do we really trust that UAE troops or Saudi Arabian troops can do it?
It's a great point, Gordon. What I think might be a difference here would be President Trump is going to be head of this board of peace that's going to, oversee the new Gaza or rebuilding Gaza. He may not tolerate any sort of UNIFIL or UN force that really doesn't do its job. But whatever this force may be, presumably they'll be able to try to make sure that they do the job of disarming Hamas. I don't think that's going to be an easy ask, Gordon. Whomever goes in there, UAE, Saudi Arabia, I'm not sure they're going to want to disarm completely going forward.
Well, Trump has said this is a great day for the world, a wonderful day for everybody. Are Israelis in agreement? Do they feel the same way?
Well, they certainly are now. I mean, I think almost all Israelis across the board are jubilant, excited, waiting to see these hostages that they have prayed for, they have advocated for 2 years will come home. There are concerns. And, one of those concerns, I think, was one of the members of the coalition government says, what about don't we have to completely eliminate Hamas, don't we have to make sure that they are disarmed and do it ourselves, lest we let another force do it? The other concern is that there are 1,950 Palestinian prisoners that are set to be released. 1,700, I believe, that were captured during the war, the two-year war. 250 of those, Gordon, have life sentences, meaning they have blood on their hands. That is a concern. And somebody is saying, are we just enabling the next generation of Palestinian terrorists to be let loose? So that's another concern. But on the overall, I think many Israelis, most Israelis, are quite excited to have these hostages finally freed after 2 years.
For the Palestinians being released from prison, they've all been convicted of horrific crimes. Where are they going to go? Are they going to go into the West Bank?
Well, I've heard that they go to an undisclosed country. I've seen reports that could be Turkey, and it would, you would want them certainly to go to Judea and Samaria, the West Bank, nor would you want to see them go to Gaza. So I think there might be stipulations within these negotiations that they're going to go to a third country. Turkey would make sense because Erdogan is part of the Muslim Brotherhood, and that's certainly part of Hamas as well. And so that may be where they'll be going.
Well, that Muslim Brotherhood is the root cause of all of it. It was the root cause of Hamas, and the ideology of it is absolutely horrific. So anyway, well, let's just celebrate the return of the hostages, and I guess until that ideology goes away, I just don't see peace in the region. There are reports that Trump is visiting Israel. He's going to address the Knesset. What should we expect?
Well, apparently he's coming here Saturday evening. In fact, he's staying not too far from the Bureau here. They've taken over, I think, 2 floors of the King David Hotel. He's going to be meeting with Prime Minister Netanyahu, President Isaac Herzog, speaking to the Knesset, as you say. I would expect sort of a victory lap with both Benjamin Netanyahu and President Trump lauding this breakthrough in the deal, not only in the war in Gaza, but also, as President Trump has been saying, this is going to be peace for the region and for the whole Middle East. So I think that's what we're going to expect to hear during any potential speaking at the Knesset.
Let's look back over the landscape the last 2 years. And so since October 7th, it's been rather incredible. Right after the attack under the Biden administration, the U.S. military made a decision: we can't get involved, even though U.S. citizens have been captured. They thought it was too problematic a battlefield, that you had tunnels, you had ground level, and then you had above ground level, and that kind of battlefield wasn't suitable. But in that same time period, you have absolute elimination of Hezbollah in southern Lebanon, and it looks like Lebanon is on the verge of finally getting to peace with Israel, which would be incredible. The Iranian nuclear program has been wiped out, and then Hamas, the instigator of all of this, is on the brink of elimination. I've got to say, this is a miracle. We're seeing modern-day miracles. Do you think the conditions are finally being set for a lasting peace?
In some regard, I do, Gordon. When you look at October 7th, and Israel was surrounded by 7 enemies. That was Hezbollah, Hamas, the Houthis, Iranian-backed militias in Iraq and Syria, Iran itself, and also in Judea and Samaria. And I agree, it's no less than a miracle of what Israel has been able to accomplish in the past 2 years. And I think a lot of the credit goes, first of all, to the God of Israel and the many people that have interceded and stood in the gap for Israel. But also, I feel like God has really used Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu, a Churchill-like figure during this time, that was able to manage a hostile administration, the Biden administration, and many internal oppositions that, for example, he shouldn't go to Rafah, which is right there on the Egyptian-Israeli border, that he shouldn't go in even at all. And then they had just incredible operations against Hezbollah, the beeper what they call the Grim Reaper operation. So, and the Mossad, what they did inside Iran. And so managing all that was Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. So I think they did, a historic a battle against 7 enemies and while fighting political enemies both without and within.
Well, it's an incredible time, one that I always wondered, would I see it in my lifetime, that Israel could achieve peace with all of her neighbors. We've seen it with Egypt, we've seen it with Jordan. Now we're on the verge of Syria, now we're on the verge of Lebanon. Peace seems to be breaking out in the Middle East. But you know your prophecy from Ezekiel, that's actually the time we need to worry the most, is when Israel is at peace with all of her neighbors. So, how long is that peace? And at the end of it, it's like this hatred is going to go to sleep. But as the rabbis say, it reemerges every single generation. So are we a generation away?
That's exactly what I was going to say, Gordon. I think a lot of people looking at this prophetically are anticipating this time of peace. Perhaps we're looking at Ezekiel 37 and 38, but there would be a time of peace, and maybe, just maybe, we're at that time right now. What the scriptures say will happen. And certainly a time to be alert.
It's definitely a time to be alert, but let's rejoice, because I think it means great things for the Palestinian people. I think it means great things for the entire Middle East, and that would be wonderful. I know the prophecy, and so I always have to sound the note of caution: peace, peace, and there's still no peace. There's still the underlying hatred of Israel. The underlying hatred of the Jewish people, which just never seems to go away, which is a great tragedy for the entire world. Well, Chris, thank you for your insights, and continue to pray. You're our watchman on the wall.
Thanks, Gordon.
Well, the deal, it's coming 2 years after the anniversary, and you look on the Jewish calendar, it actually coincides that the hostages could be returned, if it's Monday, could be returned on the exact same day on the Jewish calendar as the attack occurred, and that is something to absolutely celebrate. Well, on October 7th, about 3,500 Israelis were at the Nova Music Festival in the Negev Desert. Early in the morning, more than 100 Hamas terrorists attacked the event, killing 378 people, kidnapping 44. One survivor hid in an orchard for hours as the attack took place. She spoke with CBN's Julie Stahl about why she believes she's alive today.
2 years after surviving a terrifying experience on October 7th, Hadar Shavit describes herself as a happy person.
I'm a teacher. I teach math. I'm a homeroom teacher. I'm the head of all the classes on the 9th grade in the school that I'm working in. I'm a dancer. I love nature. I love my friends, and I love music. And at the Nova Music Festival, everything just combined together.
CBN News met up with Hadar in the same park that hosted the Nova Festival, attacked by Hamas.
We're very, very close to the Gaza border right now. Were you afraid? Did you feel like it was going to be safe here?
Even though it's next to the border, I don't need to feel afraid to be here. Actually, I feel the opposite. I feel very secure.
Some 3,500 Israelis showed up for the rave concert, and Hadar joined a group of 15 friends. Later, Hamas would attack, killing 378 people and kidnapping another 44. Miraculously, Hadar and her friends would make it out alive. They took several cars, and Hadar rode with her friend Shalev.
He's really important in my story because we survived everything from the beginning till the end, like hand to hand.
Early that morning, rockets started flying, and organizers told them to leave.
Immediately, I started to talk with my father. So he told me that the terrorists just broke the border and they came in to my area. And I was like, no, they're far away. Like, I never thought that I will meet them.
Hadar and Shalev tried to escape in his car. After being stuck in traffic, Hadar feared they would be hit by a rocket, so they abandoned the car.
Shalev and I just went back to the festival area where the bar was and the main stage and the yellow toilets. We were there till 8:15.
That's when reality set in.
I just heard gunshots and a lot of people just running through my direction, and Shalev holding my hand and was looking at me and just telling me, run as fast as you can. Then I realized, okay, they are here. It's a terror attack.
According to the IDF, about 120 terrorists intended to target the Israeli city of Netivot. They took a wrong turn and ended up at the festival where thousands of Israelis were celebrating.
So then they saw all the traffic that we created because of the festival, and they decided to change their mission. We were the new mission of the terrorists.
As Hadar and Shalev tried to escape, they hid under one bush after another.
Yeah, I saw people just getting shots and falling on the ground. And when you see it, you just don't realize that you see what you see is true. This is terrifying and it's still in my mind and in my dreams at night.
Then they had to flee again. Hadar took us to the open field where they ran, dodging terrorists and bullets.
I'm in the phone with my dad. And I was like, Dad, I cannot run anymore. I can't run anymore. I can't. And he was like, run, don't worry, run. Everything will be okay, run. And I was like,
So were the terrorists, did they see you? Were they shooting at you?
yeah. I heard bullets whistle in my ear, like, "Fiu, fiu, 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 fiu."
We then went to this orchard where Hadar showed us a tree like the one where they hid.
It was like God just put this orchard, and I was like, how I didn't saw it before. I heard people got murdered, women got raped, screaming people, and then silence, a lot of gunshots and RPGs and grenades and missiles, and seriously, chaos, hell. I just felt like, that's what I heard all the time, boom.
With fruit on the tree, the branches formed what she called a dome where they sat for 5 hours.
There were walking terrorists like over here inside the orchard. We saw them, we heard them, they didn't saw us. There were a lot of miracles inside this orchard, a lot of miracles.
Finally, when the shooting eased up, they heard Israeli soldiers and left their hiding place.
We said, civilians, don't shoot on us, because we surprised them. And then I realized that I don't need to be any more close with my emotions, that I can cry, that I can scream, that I can express my fear.
The soldiers took her to the Ofakim police station where father and daughter were reunited.
The hug that we gave to each other, I felt like I cannot explain the feeling. And then from that moment, the PTSD war started.
Right.
Hadar believes she's now on a mission to share her story.
I'm Jewish, I'm Israeli, and this is the history. It's like a second Holocaust.
She wants the world to know Israel is a peaceful place despite the enemy's desire to destroy it.
I know it sounds funny because all the wars that we're going through, but the people are peaceful, and we all want just peace in the world. We are the only Jewish country in the world, so when you say, what is Zionism? Zionism is just the right for the Jewish people to have a land for their own and to have a place for their own and country for their own.
Julie Stahl, CBN News, the Nova Festival Memorial at Re'im, Israel.
Listen to Hadar's heart. The PTSD war has started. That's post-traumatic stress disorder. I think anyone exposed to what she was exposed to is going to have trauma, is going to have stress, and what can we do to help the Jewish people, to help Israel recover from this horrific attack. You're doing it if you're a part of CBN Israel. If you're not a part and you want to give into this, we're doing a trauma center. We're working with the Israeli Trauma Coalition. We're doing our part. You can call. There's a special number you can call. Do it now. You can also go to our website at cbn.com. There's a place where you can designate your gift into CBN Israel. So do it now and be a part. For the last 2 years, the footage out of many colleges has been chilling. Pro-Palestinian agitators shout from the river to the sea and harass Jewish students. Well, this week, Regent University was home to a very different scene, a ceremony to honor the victims of October 7th. And students heard from an eyewitness to the attacks. Brody Carter has that story.
There's more than 1,400 flags planted here in the ground. Each one is a tribute to a life lost on that tragic day 2 years ago. But now stories of hope, survival, and remembrance are taking center stage.
Before Israel or the world could understand what was happening, cameras captured and displayed the sheer panic.
And I just did that the entire drive home, thinking, you know, God forbid we die, at least somebody will find these photos, find these videos, and show the world what happened to us.
Shai Klein escaped the Nova Music Festival that morning, driving through fields and desert towards Tel Aviv, passing victims gunned down by Hamas terrorists.
Don't stop.
An amateur photographer and dual citizen, Shai, now 28, is turning that trauma into testimony, sharing his story on college campuses and urging world leaders to bring home the remaining hostages.
The only thing I'll pray for right now is the return of the hostages and the end to the war.
That same feeling, shared by Regent University's Israel Institute, led to a moment of commemoration, flag planting, and education. From honoring the fallen to uplifting biblical truth, speakers heeded calls to stand against anti-Semitism. Among those, former Virginia Governor Bob McDonnell, now a Regent professor.
This is not just some article from history, that this is still part of the ongoing 3,500-year-old struggle that's taken place in the land.
Former Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann, Dean of Regents School of Government, spoke of this as a spiritual battle.
We want people to know, the Jewish people to know, and the state of Israel to know that we stand with them. We're here for them. They aren't alone.
And as the world prays for the peace of Jerusalem and for the return of the hostages, I'm Brody Carter, CBN News.
Regent University may be going against the tide of the universities in America today, but it's standing strong with Israel. It's also standing strong for a place where you can have a Christian education in today's world. If you want to apply, if you want to say, I want to be part of that community, call us, 1-866-910-7615, or you can go to the website, regent.edu. There are many kinds of degree programs available to you. I'm really proud of our undergraduate, and particularly the Honors College. It's really going great guns. It's the largest freshman class in our history. In the graduate school, the School of Law, the School of Counseling and Psychology, the School of Education is one of our largest schools, the School of Divinity, School of Government. A lot of different degree programs. They're all outlined for you at regent.edu, and you can be a part of that wonderful community. We're also doing something special where we're partnering with Hebrew University in Jerusalem. And right now we have 2 students on an exchange program. This past semester, I guess is the right word, we had 1 that was part of Hebrew University. Now we're doing 2, and we're looking forward for even more. And then as part of that program, we're sponsoring students from Regent to go on tours of Israel to see the biblical homeland and to also experience Israeli society and understand our partnership with Hebrew University. So we want even more scholars being trained in Israel, understanding the whole modern state of Israel and how it came to be. So if you want more information about how you can be a student or support Regent, go to regent.edu or call that number on your screen. Here's a word from Zechariah, not by might nor by power, but by my Spirit, says the Lord.